all at the Accra International Conference Center in the next 24 hours as we look back on that journey that started in 1965. It's all about our national heritage, our symbol of sovereignty. I'm talking about the Cedi at 60, and we can't wait enough for the team at Bank of Ghana to welcome His Excellency the President as the guest of honor for tomorrow's event. But many of you have heard about the currency. The currency has been in the news a number of times, but we're celebrating it because of that resilience ever since 1965. So why don't we say good morning to our friends from the Bank of Ghana who are joining us this morning. Mr. Dominic Owusu is Director and Head of Currency Management at Bank of Ghana. Good morning to you, sir.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
And Bernard Otterville needs no introduction because we'll run to him each time we're in trouble with the CD. Anyway, but he's the Head of Communications at the Bank of Ghana. Good morning, Bernard. It's good to see you. Yeah. So let's talk about the celebration. Cedi at 60. Why this milestone? Why is this significant? Why should we be celebrating it? And what's happening, by the way, throughout the country as far as BOG is concerned?
Right. Thank you, Blessed. And let me also take this opportunity to not just greet the listeners, but also invite them for the celebration tomorrow. Cedi at 60, a journey that began on July 19th, 1965, and it has gone through its own, at 60. You should be matured enough, to be getting out of retirement. But this is the time that we promoting the resilience of the city. The celebration, as the governor has always, made the public aware, it's not just to celebrate a currency, but to celebrate our heritage. It's not just also about heritage, but also to put it out there that the city is the pride of the nation, is the only legal tender that we have. It is something that is worth celebrating for the simple reason that beyond the city, there's no other currency in Ghana. Now, what else do we want to also mark on this special occasion? We also want to use the occasion to address this issue to do with the dollarization.
Right.
Monetary policy is much more effective if indeed we all pricing in cities. The transmission mechanism works well if we do not have this overbearing impact of exchange rate pass-through effects on our currency or on our economy. Now, the signal for monetary policy is best felt if indeed the transmission mechanism is also well promoted by all of us as economic agents, by having that sense of pride of pricing and doing everything in the city. I mean, you wake up every morning. I mean, now it's gone down a bit. Let me just, admit that. And the debate on radio is about the Cedi dollar. Okay, the exchange rate, the Cedi as an international variable will definitely move. It will go up, it will come down. It's not going to remain static forever. Why should that debate even be going on? Is it a case where we are playing into the hands of speculators? On the speculator dies, something must move. Like you playing a ludo. It must move, says my ludo. It must go up to a certain level where you don't even need the dollar. Why do you have to go and buy the dollar to hold? These are some of the issues that we want to use the celebration to address. Beyond that, the launch is just to usher in a series of activities that we've planned, for the next year. And I think I'll get back into it, in the course of
I can't wait enough to hear all about that. I think somewhere last year I found myself in Botswana, and I was holding a foreign currency. They would not accept it. And the gentleman was like, look, if you go elsewhere, you can go and spend that currency, but over here you spend our currency.
Fantastic.
So that's why I believe in what the Bank of Ghana is doing, that we need to express confidence in our currency. But Dominic, you agree that the Cedi has evolved over the years. Tell us about that journey and why we are here today.
So let me say greetings, good morning to your listeners. And one interesting thing is that we remember the past, not to dwell in it, but to draw wisdom from it. And it is only in understanding the journey of the Cedi that we can inspire innovations for a purposeful Cedi for the future. The Cedi, I think, if you look at it, prior to independence, we used the West African currency. And when we got independence in 1957, there was the need to get everything of colonialism from the system. So we needed to transition right after independence. In order to ensure that we were economically independent, the country moved from the West African currency to the West African pound on the 14th of July, 1957. Wow. Then, prior to that, 3 years after that, the country prepared itself
Right.
to transition properly to a local currency. And that happened in 1965, on the 19th of July 1965. And that was a major milestone, and that was total economic independence. And even in that case, we also transitioned from the pence, shillings, and pounds to the decimal system. And that was what we call decimalization of the currency, rationalization of the currency. So in 1965, we had the Cedi, which was the symbol.
I like the way you're pronouncing it. That's more authentic.
Yes, Cedi.
Yes, Cedi.
That was the symbol of the Cedi.
Of the Cedi, right.
And that was the banknotes that we had. And that banknote had this, portrait of the first president, Honorable President Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
And that was a major milestone in Ghana. And the interesting thing is that by decimalization, it means that the currency had units of 10. Before then, we had 12 pence being equal to 1 shilling, and then 20 shillings being equal to 1 pound. Indirectly, it meant that 1 pound was equal to 240 pence, and that was quite difficult. So Ghana transitioned. Right after that, after the first military coup d'etat in 1967, we went to the same city, but there was some rationalization and realignment when 1.2 old city became equal to 1 city. If you look at it, that was very important because we needed to ensure that cross-border payments were very good. Even the UK also transitioned from the old system into decimal system in 1971. Right. So even Ghana became decimalized before the British. And you realize that along the line, in order to make sure we clean ourselves from all issues of colonialism, we also moved from the driving on the left-hand side to driving on the right-hand side. So the next transition in currency or redesign of the currency happened in 1967 after the overthrow. And that one was also because we wanted to do away, after the transition, they wanted to do away with all the posters of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And then also 1972, and another major milestone was in 1979, where you realize that the country was discounted and people lost some value because originally the currency was seen as overvalued. So between 1979 all the way to 1983 through the 90s, there was some devaluation with some structural reforms, with some, IMF interventions that made us, the country... For strategic reasons. And all the way along the line, we had a number of zeros building up on this currency onto the famous redenomination in 2007, where we removed 4 zeros. After that, nothing happened until, but let me just go back and say that in terms of, we have something we call the triple decimal logic system, where currencies become, in order to make exchange very good, we have 1, 2, and 5. That was introduced in 1972. So in 2010, the Bank of Ghana introduced the 2 Ghana Cedi. Because during the redenomination, there was no 2 Ghana Cedi. Right. So we went back to that system in 2010, where we celebrated the centenary commemoration of the first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
And that's the yellow one.
That's the yellow one. That came in. So that one, we went back to the triple system, the decimal triple logic system, where we have 1, 2, 5, 10, to make sure that we can exchange the money very well. In 2012, we also had to upgrade because we had some few counterfeiting issues. So we needed to upgrade the currency and then upgrade the 50 Ghana Cedi. Then, long after that, around 2017, we also celebrated 60 years of the establishment of the Bank of Ghana, where we introduced the 5 Ghana Cedi with the image of Kejiri Agri. And that was also a major milestone. And then the major next reform happened in 2019, where we upgraded the existing denomination with the exception of the 2, and also introduced the higher denominations than the lower, the 100 and the 200. Yeah. So we have really transitioned, ups and downs, post-independent controls, structural economic reforms within the between 20 and the 19, the 80s and the 19 to now what we'll call the market-driven resilience where we are.
Where we are, indeed. And you've just taken us down memory lane. For those of us who were not born when it all started in 65, we have a great idea now of how the city has traversed very, very challenging times, and is still resilient. But what I want to see tomorrow, Bernard, is to see some of these old currencies on display.
Wow.
I'm just wondering what else will be happening tomorrow.
Well,
Conference center.
Yes,
because I want to see the old ones. You know, it gives, I don't know. It just gives me some feeling when I see the older currency.
You may not see the fiscal note itself, but there will be a history wall as part of it all. There's an exhibition, and at the exhibition center will be a history wall. The history wall will give you all that you've heard from Dominic. So you see the Cedi all through to where we are currently. So you see it in digital form. The currencies will all be displayed. So come and learn more about your currency. And then on top of that, yes, as you've already mentioned, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama will give us a keynote address. Our governor would also be speaking at the event, and also there will be the unveiling of the Cedi song, which is put together by us.
Oh, there's a song.
Yes, by music, a fantastic one. We hope to be Christmas number one. So that song will also be unveiled. We also be unveiling a national cloth, to commemorate the Cedi as well. A short documentary on the evolution of the Cedi would also be there, but choreographed work by a lot of all those that we have right here in Ghana would also be used to commemorate the day. But what else are we looking at? Blessed, as I said earlier, it's a national event, and we have Yana coming for the event to grace the occasion. He's already in town. The governor met him yesterday, to welcome him to Accra. The Yabonra will be around. The president of National House of Chiefs is already in town, and most of the chiefs in this country will all be there. It's a national thing. We need to get back to the pride of the city. That's the currency we have. We want to use this occasion to address it once and for all, that the city is not competing with the dollar. The only legal tender in Ghana is the Cedi. The dollar comes in because no country is an island unto itself. Under the principle of comparative, trade, under the trade agreement, comparative cost advantage, right? No country can produce everything by itself. There are things that we do so well at. We have the best marginal cost in its production. There are others that others will do so well. So what then happens? You then have to go out there for the things that you don't need so that your country would run. We need fuel. We need other inputs from the manufacturing, agriculture, and so on and so forth. That doesn't mean that the dollar should be the driver of what we do. We need it because of our international relations and trade and whatnot and all of that. We shouldn't be trying to get the dollar to be what we want to use as a store of value of some sort, and therefore we want to use the dollar. But once you go into that aspect, what then happens? You now be praying for the dollar to strengthen against the city, because on the speculators' dies, that is where your profit comes in. And this is what we want to address once and for all. This occasion, we brought in everybody that matter in this country for them to also help us. We have done our part. We've done for the past 8 months, you see what is happening in the economy. All the indicators are looking up, and therefore the best way to sustain this is for all the economic agents also to support what the central bank is doing. So that is what this event
that sounds really, really great. But aside the dollarization issues, there's also a concern about how we even handle the currency itself. And probably, Dominic, you would want to touch on that. The way, when we need it, yes, we go in for it, do our transaction. But the care for the Cedi itself, the notes, it's really poor in this country.
Okay, so let me say that for Ghanaians, Afi Adekeyi Mele Mianchu.
That's good.
Obe Hekuya.
Yeah.
We have nowhere to go as Ghanaians.
Yes, this is our country.
This is our country. The Cedi is our identity. When you talk about the pound, what do you hear? Which country do you think of? It is the British. When you talk about the dollar, it is Ghana. So the dignity of the Cedi depends on us Ghanaians. Nobody is going to move out there and come and respect our currency. It is we Ghanaians. And this is what we have. This is what represents Ghanaians. And there is always a saying that the quality of notes in circulation mirrors the quality of life of the people. Clean city, clean country. CCCC.
Yeah.
Clean city, clean country. Dirty city, dirty Ghana. For the national image purpose, when anybody comes into your country, the quality of money that a person meets at the airport tells a lot
about your country.
About your country.
Yeah.
So we Ghanaians, since it is our dignity, mishandling the currency means mishandling our dignity. So today I want to use this platform to tell everybody that it behoves on us as good citizens to respect the currency and keep it clean.
I agree.
Apart from that, for operational efficiency, when the currency is dirty, because of technological advancement today, you cannot even use counting machines and other things to even make it efficient. Let's put that aside. For economic policy, economic purpose, cost purposes, we don't use the cedi to go and print the cedi. We use the forex, we use the dollar. We don't print the cedi in Ghana. So if you are Ghanaian, any mishandling of the currency means that you are depreciating the currency. When you have the dollar, how do you handle it? Why can't we keep the cedi clean? There is also a culture in Ghanaians that when I want to give a gift, because I don't want to boast, I don't want to be seen to be boastful, I want to crumple it. Yeah. Where did that come from? Why has that become a culture in Ghana?
Yeah.
When you go to, you want to give the gift.
You can seal it in an envelope.
Don't even seal it. What does it mean showing it to the people and giving it? People on the street, whenever we are giving something, we crumple it. Anytime you crumple the money has some varnishing, some protection on it. Once you break it, you crack it, you fold it, you destroy this. And it becomes cost to the nation. It affects the image of the country, its dignity, and it also somehow affects technological operations. Yeah. So let's all come together and then handle the city with care. It is very, very important.
Yes, and blessed. Also, one other thing that I should add is that this is very dear to the heart of the governor.
Yes.
So, as part of this celebration, we'll be deploying what we call city ambassadors.
Oh, okay.
So there will be city ambassadors on a road show, and they'll do what we call a market storm. I mean, market storm is known by all of us, and at that market storm, they'll be teaching us, all of us, how to handle and also to identify the security features. So they'll be badged up, you easily identify them, and this event is only the beginning of a long journey. The city is going to be with us long after we are long gone. And therefore, we want this to be the kickstart of the next 60 years of the city, well respected, held with pride, handled with all the dignity that is expected of it, and also ensuring that it becomes the only legal tender that we are so proud to actually use in all negotiations.
And to add to the city ambassador, the education on the currency is going to be taken at another level everywhere in the country. And you should be an ambassador.
I
Joy FM. Support us. All the FM stations should support us.
We ought to. We ought to. In fact, I was just going to ask.
Are you going to be our first media city ambassador?
We're starting it right from here. So we'll keep reminding people each and every morning that look, you need to keep the currency very, very, very clean. In fact, I was going to ask about the future plans you have, if there are, aside the education, some more programs in place, just to encourage people.
Oh yes, I mean the Gen Zs and the young ones like me are not left out like either.
You should be a Gen Z again.
we have the City Fest, which is going to
coming up.
Yes, we have the Currency Week. We have some of the top artists that will be engaging as well, and just as is done in some part of the world, like Jamaica, where reggae today is used to even promote monetary policy. You see our local songs being used to promote the city as well. So they should watch out on TikTok and see the Cedi challenge and all those things coming up, which would all be used to address all the issues that we've discussed this morning.
I think I should start a music career, but anyway. So any word for the general public who would want to be a part of tomorrow's event, Dominic?
So tomorrow, I think Bank of Ghana has the launch of the Cedi Act 60, and it's going to be magnificent. We have, as communication head has said, we have all Ghana coming to the Accra International Conference Center. So come and experience a new beginning for the Cedi. And let me tell Ghanaians that the Cedi is our dignity, and we must all try and keep it clean. Whether you are in the market, whether you are in the street, you are in the trotro, whether you are in the church, whether you are cooking with red oil, whether you are sweating, please keep the Cedi clean. Do not crumple it. It should be something of the past.
Your banks will also be there. And all the banks will be on display. Come and speak to your bank about what they do with the city. And if you haven't met your traditional ruler for some time now, there's the time to meet them and greet them and welcome them back to Accra. That's what you should expect. A big occasion we should all be proud of being a part of.
It's our heritage. It's our sign of national sovereignty. So you need to be there as we join in the celebration. I'm sure when the president is done speaking, we'll do some big party afterwards. But I've not seen the smaller Cedi. Is it the Peswa? The one Peswa? Is it still in the system?
It's still in the system.
Look
for it. It's all over. It's available.
Okay. Grateful to you gentlemen for joining us. Dominic Owusu, Director of and Head of Currency Management at the Bank of Ghana, and Bernard Otabil, Director and Head of Communications, Bank of Ghana. We'll keep telling you to keep the Cedi clean from now. That's our contribution to supporting the Ghana Cedi. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay.
Citizen TV, Accra, Ghana. Citizen TV, the citizen's power.